devotion prayer Sahana Bhavatu.
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 11. We'll chant from verses 21 to 30.
अमीहि त्वां सुरसङ्घा विशन्ति केचिद् भीताः प्राञ्जलयो गृह्णन्ति स्वस्तीत्युक्त्वा महर्षि सिद्धसङ्घाः स्तुवन्ति त्वां स्तुतिभिः पुष्कलाभिः। रुद्रादित्या वसवो ये च साध्याः विश्वेश्विनौ मरुतश्चोष्मपाश्च गन्धर्वयक्षासुरसिद्धसङ्घाः वीक्षन्ते त्वां विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे। रूपं महत्ते बहुवक्त्र नेत्रम् महाबाहो बहुबाहूरुपादम् बहूदरं बहुदंष्ट्राकरालम् दृष्ट्वा लोकाः प्रव्यथितास्तथाहम्। नभस्पृशं दीप्तमनेकवर्णम् व्यात्ताननं दीप्तविशालनेत्रम् दृष्ट्वा हि त्वां प्रव्यथितान्तरात्मा धृतिं न विन्दामि शमं च विष्णो। दंष्ट्राकरालानि च ते मुखानि दृष्ट्वैव कालानलसन्निभानि दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्म प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास। अमी च त्वां धृतराष्ट्रस्य पुत्राः सर्वे सहैवावनिपालसङ्घैः भीष्मो द्रोणः सूतपुत्रस्तथासौ सहास्मदीयैरपि योधमुख्यैः। वक्त्राणि ते त्वरमाणा विशन्ति दंष्ट्राकरालानि भयानकानि केचिद्विलग्ना दशनान्तरेषु सन्दृश्यन्ते चूर्णितैरुत्तमाङ्गैः। यथा नदीनां बहवोऽम्बुवेगाः समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा द्रवन्ति तथा तवामी नरलोकवीराः विशन्ति वक्त्राण्यभिविज्वलन्ति यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतङ्गाः विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्तात् लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर्ज्वलद्भिः तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत्समग्रम् भासस्तवोग्राः प्रतपन्ति विष्णो
So we are on the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, the yoga of the vision of the cosmic form. So that's the chapter called. And we studied the first two topics. Arjuna requests and Krishna shows his cosmic form. That was the topic 1. And the second topic, stuck with wonder, Arjuna describes that cosmic form. So verse number 1 to 25. So only for this chapter, chapter 11, we are making the exception. The exception is we are not going verse by verse, which we have been doing so far. So what we are doing is we are studying topic summary, because there is not too much of philosophy in this particular chapter. So the third topic is called the all-consuming destructive expression of the Supreme Reality, from verse number 26 to 34. In the second topic, he described the sustenance and the maintenance. Not, what is that? Sustenance and creation. Sustenance and creation. These two aspects of Supreme Reality. And here he talks about the destruction. Now, if you carefully follow the verse while I'm explaining, you can just read the translation of first two verses, which is 26 and 27. You can open to that page. So you'll know what we are going to discuss here. And why we are saying he's talking about the destructive aspect of Supreme Reality. So the translation of verse number 26 and 27. These sons of Dhritarashtra with all hosts of kings, Bhishma, Drona, and Suta's son, along with our warrior chiefs, into your mouths with terrible tusks, fearful to behold. They hurriedly enter. Some are seen sticking in the gaps between the teeth with their heads pulverized. So it's dramatization. So what he's telling us, what he's educating the entire humanity, that every object and being has a shelf life. Nothing is permanent in this world. Every being is mortal in our context. It's a very practical message for all of us. And death is the ultimate end for all of us. Nobody has come here for permanently. It's a temporary sojourn. And it all depends on how you make use of this opportunity called life. So, death is the ultimate end for all. So, he describes few characters from the story. Some of them are vicious people, some of them are noble people. So, even if you are vicious, even if you are noble, death is the absolute certainty for all beings. So, every being is mortal. Now, once you understand this fact of life, you understand that there is a potential for death anytime for all of us. So there is no guarantee. Nobody knows how long we are going to live. It could be for a few months. A baby may die at the age of 6 months, or a person may die at the ripe old age of 1995. So right from birth till the end, there is a potential for death. So once you understand this fact of life, then there is no unnecessary excitement or dejection. Yes, there is a birth in the family, something to be happy about. There is no doubt about it. But also, you understand, you need to educate yourself that any being is born. I mean, that being can pass away anytime. So you don't peg your happiness on that particular being. If you do that, then you may have to pay the price. What happens if that person dies? So, therefore, due to this understanding, due to this education, there is no unnecessary excitement. Also, there is no unnecessary dejection at death. You understand? I mean, every being has to die one day. So you maintain that equanimity in birth and death. This is how you educate yourself. And he's not only talking about birth and death, of course, that's the main message, but the concept of birth and death is applicable in all facets of life. Nothing is permanent. One person may get power. That power is not permanent. That power is going to go away. You find there are certain businesses, they flourish, they do well for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But there is a decline. Nations, there is a decline. Well, what happened to the British Empire? Right now, America is right on the top, but how long it is going to last? Your personal wealth, it may come and go. So every aspect of this world has got a shelf life. In that sense, the concept of birth and death has to be understood. So when King Arthur, you know, he was on a deathbed, he was educating his colleague, Sir Bedivere or Bedivere, whichever way you pronounce. It's a very famous quotation. It's by Lord Tennyson in the poem Morte d'Arthur. So King Arthur is educating people around him. He says, the old order changeth, yielding place to new. The old order changeth, yielding place to new. Lord Tennyson in the poem Morte d'Arthur. So it's a very practical quotation, you know. So nothing is permanent in this life. Every aspect of life, this world, has got a shelf life. So in that sense, the concept of birth and death, or rather destruction, has to be understood. And cycle of birth and death ends only upon reaching the state of self-realization because of our own desires. So what creates the cycle of birth and death is our own desires. So desire, your own desire is the cause, and birth is the effect. So as long as there are desires, it will demand the experience of birth. That is my life, that is your life. And only as a human being we have the capacity to come out of this cycle of birth and death. So it's a pain. I mean, if you carefully analyze life, yes, you may have great time. Why not? But over and over again, you have to go through the various challenges of life. The process of birth, then you start growing, like face all the challenges of life. And as you become old, there is decay, there is disease, and ultimately there is death. So this is life, my life, your life. So why would you like to go through this over and over again? And only as a human being we have this capacity to come out of this cycle of birth and death, and that is by eliminating all your desires. So therefore we say human being minus desires equals self, or the experience of self-realization. So all of us have this opportunity to come out of the cycle of birth and death. And that's the magic of human birth, isn't it? because no other creature, they got this capacity. So we are born as a human being. So what is so special about human being is this capacity to eliminate all our desires. Nobody is denied that opportunity. But if you don't do that, cycle of birth and death continues. And it will continue till you consciously put efforts and reach the state of self realization. I repeat, you reach a state of self realization when you eliminate all your desires. It's a simple concept. Human being minus desires equals state of self realization, or you become the supreme reality. And then, if you read the translation of next verse, the thought flow continues. He says, as 28, verse number 28, as the many torrents of rivers rush towards the ocean alone, so do these heroes in the world of men enter your blazing mouths. So, what comparison he is giving is, just as the ocean is the ultimate destination for the river, any river has to merge into the ocean, isn't it? So, similarly, self, or the state of self realization, is the ultimate end for human beings, the ultimate destination for human beings. Now, why are we saying that? It is by your own experience. Because we will not rest content till you reach that state, the state of absolute peace, the state of infinite bliss, total fulfillment. Any amount of external acquisitions from this world will not satisfy you. Don't go by what we are saying. Analyze your own life. And you may get X amount of wealth, you may get great family, very good spouse, loving children, everything could be surplus in your life or plus in your life. You may get all the power in the world. You may get all the wealth and you may indulge with that wealth. You may acquire all the knowledge, you may get all the fame, but there is no contentment in all this. Why there is no contentment in all this? Because your ultimate destination is, you're looking for that infinite peace, infinite bliss, which is your original nature. It is intrinsic to you. That's what you are. That's what I am. So therefore, he says, just as river continues rushing towards the ocean, we all are finding that infinite peace in our life. But unfortunately, we are trying to find it in the external acquisition and enjoyment where it is not. So therefore, he says, you will not rest content till you reach that ultimate state. And another point is, if you carefully analyze the thought flow, your individuality is opposed to the world. I repeat, your individuality is opposed to the world. Why are we saying this? Because there is a constant battle between you and the world. You want something, world provides you with something, isn't it? You like summer. There is winter for a long time in North America. You want to be in a relationship with a particular person, but that person is not available. Or you want to be out of a relationship, that person is not willing to leave you. You want wealth, you don't get wealth. Or you get wealth, but you understand there is no happiness in it. So throughout our life, this is happening. So therefore, we say there is a constant battle between you and the world. You want something, but world provides you with something else. From early childhood till you die, this constant battle is going on. So therefore, we say the very fact that you have created the individuality It is opposed to the world. And this constant conflict, when it is pronounced, it wears you out. That's why people, they say, I'm mentally fatigued. Good many people, by the time they are 40, 45, 50, they can't cope up with this battle. So they're tired. On the other hand, all enlightened masters, they have declared that they are paripurna. See, I hope you are following the thought flow. So what we are saying, that our original nature is infinite peace, infinite bliss. But none of us have reached that state. So we don't know what is that experience. So therefore, there is a constant battle between world and us. Yes or no? What is that constant battle? Already discussed. What is that constant battle we all are facing throughout our life? It's a question of more or less. What is that constant battle?
You want something else, but you get totally something different.
So that's isn't it that, I mean, it tires us out. It produces mental fatigue, and when it is pronounced, we use the word I am frustrated, or I am depressed. So therefore, we are saying our personality is opposed to the world due to this constant conflict. This is you and I are going through. On the other hand, all enlightened masters in the history of humanity, whether it is Christ, whether it is Krishna, whether it is Lord Buddha, galaxy of saints and sages, known and unknown, they have made a statement that they are paripurna. So very fascinating word, Sanskrit word. The English word is they're totally fulfilled, whole, WHOLE, paripurna. And irrespective of what is happening in their life, that is important. Yeah, I repeat, all enlightened masters in the history of humanity, they have unanimously made this statement that they are all full, they are paripurna. Nothing is lacking in their life, irrespective of where they were placed in their life. That is important. See, therefore, there are so many stories we hear. There's a character of Sudama. He was absolute pauper, but he was an enlightened man. And his friend Krishna, who has given Bhagavad Gita, he was a prince, so he was royalty. So as far as their lifestyle is concerned, what amenities they are enjoying, they're like chalk and cheese. Sudama was a pauper. I mean, he suffered throughout his life from poverty. Krishna was a prince. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. But Krishna also faced challenges after challenges throughout his life. I mean, you can understand, like political power, we can see, there are 10 people who try to pull you down. So, irrespective of what they were going through life, they were paripurna. Sudama's happiness was not dependent on the world. Krishna's happiness was not dependent on the world. So therefore, it did not make any difference where they were placed in life. They were paripurna. That's that state. See, otherwise, you and I also may feel paripurna when things are in our favor for the time being. But when something goes wrong, mental agitations come up. Another way to describe that is it is a state of absolute self-sufficiency. You're not dependent on the world for your happiness at all. So that is a state of self-realization. And the interesting part is we all want to reach that state, the state of absolute fulfillment. Yes or no? We all want to enjoy that infinite peace, infinite bliss. What is the answer, Neha?
Yes, Amitji.
Anybody disagrees with Neha?
Sorry?
Anybody disagrees with Neha? Uncle says Deva.
Totally agree.
Makran, Jigar, Raji, Charu. So everybody says yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
We all want infinite peace and infinite bliss.
Yes.
Otherwise, what are we doing here? But here is the rub. And still you are delaying your spiritual efforts to reach that state. Yes or no? See, it's not that you're not putting efforts. I mean, I can see the disappointment on your face. I know all of you are sincere. But how many of you are absolutely sold to that goal? Are you not casual about it, relatively casual about it? Has the penny dropped? Is the question. If the penny drops, if the penny has dropped, see, you will be most consistent in your effort and you will not rest content till you reach that state, isn't it? So why are you casual or relatively casual about it? Because the penny has not dropped 100%. But the penny has dropped as far as you understand that wealth is necessary for sustenance, isn't it? If you don't have wealth, if I don't have wealth, what will happen? We cannot sustain ourselves, the basics of life we can't buy. So therefore, you will put your efforts till you acquire wealth. So you understood the importance of wealth. But when it comes to spiritual enlightenment, the state of spiritual enlightenment, it's not that we don't know. It's not that we haven't understood. But still, are we not trying to find happiness in external acquisition and enjoyment? When you know, I'm making this statement in the context of this group, all of you know, you heard it 10 times, maybe 100 times, that there is least happiness in the world. Also, you know that you belong to that state of infinite peace, infinite bliss. Then why are you delaying your spiritual efforts? Isn't it a contradiction? Why this contradiction is my question.
We think we have time.
Sorry, say that again.
We think we have time.
Okay.
Penny
Time
has
for
not.
what?
Our desires.
The penny has not dropped yet.
Correct. As simple as that. Yes, we know it, but also we don't know it. Somewhere in between. But the moment it hits you, that message, then you will drop everything else. I mean, don't take it literally, and try your level best to reach that state, which we all are aspiring for. See, therefore, he gives that example. Just like river most constantly is rushing towards the ocean, isn't it? And it will not rest content till it reaches the ocean, it merges with the ocean. Exactly same thing is happening to all of us. Most constantly we are looking either consciously or unconsciously, right, to find that infinite peace, infinite bliss. But we are knocking at the wrong door. We are knocking at the doors of like materiality and sensuality. We are trying to find happiness in the external world by acquiring and enjoying where it is not. So therefore we say the penny hasn't really dropped. So useful and practical message in the first 3 and 4 verses. And then the thought flow continues where Krishna educates humanity on the law of karma. See, Arjuna's point is that, how can I fight against my own cousins? And he sees his cousins and, his friends, they are pulverized in Krishna's mouth. It's all dramatization. So, to which Krishna is educating Arjuna, they are paying for their own action. If you do something negative, the consequences will be negative. If you do something positive, the consequences will be positive. So he's talking about law of karma. All of you know law of karma. Karma meaning action. So the law of action. So the law of action is based on cause and effect. For every cause, there is an effect. For every effect, there has to be a cause. If you plant mango seed, you will get mangoes. If you plant apple seed, you will get apples. It will never happen you plant apple seeds and suddenly you're getting some different fruit. It doesn't function like that. The world functions meticulously on the law of causation. So the law of karma, law of action, is based on this law of causation. For every cause, there is an effect. For every effect, there is a cause. So you are responsible for your life. If something negative is happening to you consistently over and over again, you have paid the cause. You have sowed that particular cause. Or if everything is positive in your life, you're peaceful, you're blissful, you're calm, composed, you have paid the price, which is your own positive actions. So any negative action will have negative result. And any positive action will have positive result. So coming back to the story of Mahabharata, Kauravas, they were nothing but selfish and vicious people. So whatever they are going through, they are going to be destroyed. They have paid the price for it. That's the education. And the law of karma applies at all levels of your personality. It's not only at action level. It applies at action level, applies at emotion level, thought level, spiritual level. If you entertain negative emotions, you will be hurt by your own emotions. You will be mentally disturbed. If you entertain negative biased thoughts, they are going to boomerang on you. If you put efforts to evolve spiritually, you will be evolved spiritually. So it applies at all levels of your personality. So whatever you are at this moment, on the scale of 1 to 10, human growth is nothing but your own creation. In layman's language, it is called as destiny. So your present destiny is created by who? Positive, negative, it could be a combination of both. Your present destiny is created by who?
By me.
Me? By me.
By me. How?
Ourselves.
Answer is correct. Yes, your present destiny is created by you. Next question is how?
By my actions, emotions, thoughts, and efforts for spirituality.
By your own actions from this moment backward.
By the
Like a bank.
decisions I make.
Sorry?
By the decisions I make.
By your own decisions. Excellent. It's like your bank balance. If your bank balance is positive, who is responsible for that? I mean, your own transactions, debit, credit from this moment backward. If your bank account is in the red, you are responsible. So similarly, whatever you are responsible for it. So the layman uses the word destiny. But your destiny is created by you. That is important. Nobody else is responsible for what is happening to you in life, either positive or negative. You may blame others. That is different. But the law of causation functions meticulously. And therefore, Krishna is able to predict the natural outcome of Kaurava's negative past actions. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, they are already dead. So why are you worrying about them? You are the medium through which they are getting killed. That's about all. You're not responsible for whatever vicious deeds they have done. They themselves are responsible. So Krishna can clearly predict the outcome of negative past actions. If a youth is going in a negative direction, drugs and that kind of a lifestyle, what will be the outcome of such actions? For anybody for that matter. Somebody has taken to the life of drugs, a drug addict or alcoholic or a gambler. What will be the outcome of that lifestyle?
Depends on
Be
the
a
seed.
short-
Hmm?
It could be a shortening of life or premature death.
I mean, it's a common sense. How do you know? How do I know? We have that clarity. It's not that there is some special power we have. It's based on cause and effect. If somebody is debt ridden, you're going on borrowing money all the time, what will be the outcome of that lifestyle? If you're attached to objects and beings of the world, what will be the outcome of that? Attach, you lose. We know that. So Krishna means any person who has knowledge, he clearly understands that life is based on cause and effect. So therefore, you have a choice of action to correct yourself or to evolve at any stage of your life. Forget about the past. See, in Vedanta, it does not matter what is your past, because you can completely eradicate your past if you do positive actions in the present, isn't it? See, just as your past bank balance is not important if you want to have wealth, if you want to come out of the debt, yes, of course, it matters for the time being. But the moment you start earning money, the moment you take care of your expenses, sooner or later, your bank account will be positive, isn't it? So similarly, in life, it does not matter what you have done. What matters is what you are going to do in the future. So that's the power of law of causation. And you can completely negate your past. That is state of self-realization. When you completely negate your past, you completely eradicate your desires, you reach a state of spiritual enlightenment. And no human being is denied this opportunity. Therefore, there is an emphasis on law of karma, law of causation. Are you following the thought flow? And then he gives example of what happens if you do something negative in life. So in verse number 29, just one example he is giving. As moths with great speed enter into the brilliant fire for destruction, even so people enter with great speed into your mouths for destruction. So he is talking about what happens if you succumb to your senses. So we all know we have 5 senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. So he's giving example of a moth. Moth has got a weakness for the sight. I'm sure many of you gone camping, when you light a fire in the evening, if you go to the wooded area, especially summertime or whatever, how many of you experience that moths, they come from nowhere and they embrace the flame? How many of you experience that? And there is nothing you can do. I mean, you feel so sad. Why are they doing it? It's like committing a suicide. So that example is giving. So that one weakness moth has, it destroys itself. So similarly, we have 5 senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. And there are corresponding sense objects from the world. So one weakness is enough to bring about your downfall. It could be, let's say, you have a weakness for eating. And there are people who go on eating until they destroy themselves. So that one weakness can bring about your downfall. So he gives one example, that moth. But elsewhere in the scriptures, he gives a very fascinating example of moth, deer, bee, fish, and elephant. I repeat, moth, deer, bee, fish, and elephant. So all of them have a particular weakness. And that particular weakness brings about their downfall. Like the elephant, the male elephant, when he is sexually aroused, he goes berserk. And this is how they catch him. So that one weakness, that mighty elephant, is captured. Fish is gobbling all the time, goes for the angler's bait. Deer has got a weakness for the sound. This is how they catch deers. Moth we already discussed. Bee goes right deep into the flower and is trapped. So why he is giving that warning that one weakness is enough to destroy you, and you may have weakness for all the 5 senses. And that's what happened to the vicious lord Kaurava. See, they wanted to usurp the kingdom, which did not belong to them. So in short, they wanted to acquire wealth by manipulation, by cheating, by unrighteous means. So all that pursuit of wealth, or any pursuit of wealth, end of the day is pursuit of what? That's the psychology which we have to understand. When any person is pursuing wealth, see, we say wealth is necessary for sustenance, so that already established. But we are talking about the weakness, or what can you buy with wealth? You can buy only sense objects. So any person who is pursuing wealth or running after wealth is running after the sense objects. So therefore he is giving that warning. Yes, sense objects are necessary for survival, but that if you have a weakness for that, it can bring about your downfall. And if you don't check desire, whatever desire comes to your mind, if you do not checkmate that desire early, at the early stage, in the early stage, then it goes out of control. Food, for example, it's not that one fine day you put on weight. Like you go on eating for years and years. So if the thought comes, should I really eat that extra dessert? You have capacity to say yes or no. It need not be no all the time. It could be yes, but it is sanctioned by the intellect. I'm giving you a simple example. Or it could be glass of alcohol. If you want to drink once in a while, it's fine. But if you don't checkmate that desire, then it gathers momentum. Desire for wealth is very simple, no? And once it gathers momentum, then you can't control it. Then it goes out of control, and then you could be destroyed by that. Desire for power. Nothing wrong in acquiring power. But how? By manipulation, by cheating, by whatever. The moment any desire comes, you need to use your intellect and examine that desire. If it is relevant to your life, fine. I mean, you can go ahead with it discreetly. But if it is not relevant to your life, or you feel, no, there is a danger, then you have to dismiss it. If you don't do that, it will gather momentum. The word we use in Sanskrit is called as vega. Vega means momentum. And once it gathers momentum, it's dangerous. So therefore, he's giving that warning by giving the example of moth, how moth destroys. So you have to have self-control. It's not self-denial. You have to have command on the senses. That's the education for all of us. And if you end up acquiring sense objects from the world, And if you indulge in those sense objects, what happens? The law of diminishing return applies. The more you indulge, the less you enjoy. The more you indulge, the less you enjoy. And if you really go all out, you reach a state of neutralization. That is what has happened to an alcoholic. He doesn't enjoy alcohol, but he cannot remain without alcohol. That state is called as neutralization. This is what has happened to people who are very extremely well to do. The whole life they have indulged, and life, nothing from the life gives them kick. Neutralization. But if you contact sense objects discreetly throughout your life, you can enjoy. But most people, they indulge in the sense objects, the joy content diminishes, and if they continue, they reach a state called neutralization. Another peculiar thing about sense objects is mind can change anytime. If mind changes, there is no enjoyment. You may get all the wealth in the world, and you may understand that, oh, there is no happiness in wealth. You may buy a 10,000 square feet house or 15,000 square feet house. There's nothing wrong with that. But suddenly your mind may change. No, I want to downsize. No, there is no happiness in it. Or the house which you cherished. Suddenly, due to whatever reason, your mind changes. You want to sell that house. No, I want to be out of this house. You may acquire the objects and beings of the world. Your mind can change, and then there is no enjoyment. So he wants us to start thinking. Are you following the thought flow? And yet we are running after the objects and beings of the world for what?
We think we do it for our own pleasure.
So he wants us to think and examine what? See, it's a different analysis. One thing is, okay, there is no happiness in the world. We can make that statement and get away. But this in-depth analysis will help you to start thinking. So somebody may say, no, I want to acquire all the money in the world. I want to indulge. What happens? Find out from people who are extremely well-to-do and indulgent. It's not that every wealthy person is indulgent. There is least happiness in the wealth if you don't know how to relate to it. So that's the analysis. So are we okay? So the next topic, topic 4, is called overwhelmed with fear and adoration, Arjuna surrenders to the cosmic form, verse number 35 to 45. Now, this topic, there are only 2 or 3 main points. It is full of psychology. So, what happens at the beginning of the chapter? Arjuna is telling Krishna, you show me your cosmic form. There is no such thing, it's dramatization. Krishna shows the cosmic form, and Arjuna sees the entire world in it. And now Arjuna is telling Krishna, no, please, I can't see that form, cosmic form anymore. Can you restore your original form? That's what is happening. So what is the psychology? That is important. So the psychology is like phenomenal, that you cannot take spiritual knowledge beyond your capacity. That's the message. You cannot take spiritual knowledge beyond your capacity. You cannot do your sadhana. Sadhana means spiritual practice beyond your capacity. You have to progress step by step and systematically. There are people, they come to the study of the scriptures and straight away they start dabbling with the concepts. What is God? Is there God or there is no God? Or there is no such thing called as life after death. See, you don't even know the basics. And straight away you are going into the subtler concepts. It's like you join physics class. After 10th grade, 11th grade, you take physics as major. And straight away you want to understand E equals mc square. What will happen? It will be a disaster. So exactly same thing happens to a lot of sincere seekers I'm talking about. So the message for any seeker, sincere seeker, is never overstep your capacity. You have to approach the study of Vedanta, the study of scriptures systematically. And not many people, they do that. Therefore, you find either there is confusion. Those who have read a lot of books, on philosophy, 99.99% of them are confused. Or your personality can get derailed. You will really end up harming yourself. There are people who straight away want to plunge into meditation. This is the big problem which is going on in the world right now. Meditation is meant for the highest seekers. Only when you offload the bulk of your desires, you become meditative. You can't practice meditation. Meditation is not a practice. Meditation is a state. So there are a lot of people straight away they want to plunge into meditation. And I have seen a number of cases where some of them literally ended up in a mental asylum. So that warning is giving that don't overstep your capacity. Each one is at a different level. See, Swamiji, I'm associated with Swamiji for last 30 years. I'm a senior student at the age of 25, 26. I joined Vedanta Academy in India. And right from the beginning, Swamiji used to caution us because he knew we were very sincere. So he used to tell us, don't copy me. You don't copy him. Like, what I did, if you do, all of you will end up in an asylum. These are his actual words. 15, 16 years, he did nothing but he stayed with the books, and therefore he could produce so much of literature. Are we of that caliber? That does not make us inferior. That's not our capacity at this moment. Like somebody starts studying 3-4 hours in a day. A person who has a lot of desires, relatively extroverted, suddenly he takes to the study and withdraws into the concentrated environment. That's not your capacity at this moment. So therefore, that caution is there. That's what is happening to Arjuna. He tells Krishna, oh, withdraw that form. I can't see your cosmic form. It's all dramatization. So you cannot take spiritual knowledge or your sadhana. Sadhana means your efforts. You cannot overstep it. You cannot go beyond your capacity. And also when it comes to the study of subtle concepts, you always have to go from known to the unknown. Upanishads, how they describe God, they describe it from known to unknown terms. It is the eye of the eye, it is the ear of the ear, it is the mind of the mind. So it's a very systematic approach. That is number one. The second important point is Krishna has got perfect understanding of Arjuna and his needs, and he guides him properly. Arjuna is nothing but a seeker like you and me. It's like a guru and teacher relationship. So Arjuna was not a true seeker. I mean, he was a genuine person, he was an unselfish person, but he was not of the caliber of Upanishadic student. They were of high caliber student. So Arjuna, due to a situation, surrendered to Krishna. Due to respect and reverence he had for Krishna, he got benefit from that. He got benefited from that. So when Arjuna needed emotions, Krishna gave him emotions. When Arjuna wanted action, Krishna tells him to act. When Arjuna wants knowledge, Krishna gives him knowledge. Now, when Arjuna is trying to go into the subtle concepts, that's not his capacity. Krishna tells him to withdraw. Are you following the thought flow? See, that's the advantage when you surrender to a competent teacher or your guru. There are so many of you, at least 7 to 8, those who are doing e-learning and like sincere study, they are in touch with me constantly. I don't tell anybody to contact me. I mean, if they feel I'm competent, then it's my obligation to guide them. How much to study, how much not to study, how much of e-learning, how many classes you should attend. If there is nobody to guide you, what will happen? It's like you go to a CVS pharmacy and you keep on buying all the medicines. No, doctor has to prescribe medicine to you. So that is important, that you need to surrender to a competent person and take his or her guidance for your spiritual growth. It's a science. You can't do it on your own. You and I cannot treat ourselves if we have any disease. We have to surrender to a doctor, qualified doctor. So that is point number 2. And the third and important point is, in life, you cannot talk about this knowledge to anybody and everybody. Absolutely important point. Are they available? Are they interested in the knowledge? To what extent they are available? To what extent they are interested in the knowledge? Lord Buddha, he was famous for keeping quiet. They used to have question and answer sessions. And sometimes people used to ask questions just for the heck of it. He used to just close his eyes and keep quiet, because he knew that person is not sincere. He doesn't know what he is asking. So it used to be misconstrued as, oh, he doesn't know the answer. So if person was not qualified, if he did not deserve the knowledge, he did not give the knowledge. So similarly in life, you can't talk about this knowledge to anybody and everybody. Like Christ says, you can't cast pearls before the swine. Have you not heard that? Yes, you have the pearls, but the pig, the swine doesn't know the value. So only when somebody has value for this knowledge, provided you have the knowledge, and he wants that knowledge, then you give to the extent that person requires. It could be your own wife, your own husband, your own children, your own friends, your own relatives. It's like a food. If somebody is hungry, you give food according to his hunger, isn't it? Somebody wants like one small burger, you give him one small burger. Somebody has got a big appetite, you give him large portions. So similarly, in life, find out, do people need your advice? Don't give unsolicited advice to anybody. It doesn't work. You may have best of intentions, but it doesn't work. And that's what happens, especially in family. Parent children is a common thing. Parents, they keep on giving advice. Do children, they need that. That's what creates that conflict and confrontation. So these are the practical points in topic 4. So are we okay? Like I said, this chapter is not like other chapters where verse by verse we analyze. Here only key points we study. So don't overanalyze. I'm just giving you key points which are practical, and they are related to you and me. I mean, you can relate to them. So any doubts from what we covered today? All right. So next week, I think is the last session for chapter 11, and 2 topics are left. Topic number 5 and 6. So we'll conclude chapter 11 next week. And from the following week, I think March 21st is the date. Correct me if I'm wrong. We'll start the study of chapter 12. So it's important chapter. It's called as Bhakti Yoga, Yoga of Devotion. Everybody has got strange concept of what is bhakti, what is devotion. So when you study that chapter, you will be shocked. The true devotion has got nothing to do with our concept of devotion. So be prepared for a shock therapy from March 21st onwards. All right, so there is a small announcement, Jigar.
Yes. Hari Om. This announcement is about Vedanta Midwest Northern Michigan Retreat. So Vedanta Midwest Northern Michigan Retreat is planned for May 15th to 17th, 2026 at the Homestead Resort, located in scenic Glen Arbor, Michigan, about a 4-hour drive from Metro Detroit area. So please save the dates on your calendar. The retreat schedule looks like it begins on Friday, May 15th at 2 p.m. and ends Sunday, May 17th at 2 p.m. The registration will open starting next week via an email announcement. For those traveling from outside the metro area, Detroit metro area, please don't hesitate to reach out for logistics assistance. We can help coordinate. Airport to retreat rides with Vedanta Institute of Midwest volunteers. And secondly, carpool arrangements for attendees traveling from other states. So if 2 or more people are coming from a same state, we encourage organizing a shared carpool for the journey. If you have questions about the retreat, airport pickup, or carpooling, please contact studyclass@vedantamidwest.org. I repeat, studyclass@vedantamidwest.org. Also, please feel free to share this announcement with friends and contacts who may be interested in attending. Thank you.
Thanks. So see you next week, all of you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Amitji. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.